Cruise news. One cruise line is revolutionizing dining on board their ships. Fire breaks out on another ship, and one lady reveals a secret cruise ship life that few know about. All this and more. I'm going to get you the top 10 cruise news updates fast, coming up. Welcome to the Travel Scouts. My name is Jason and we are your cruise information channel. We get you the cruise news and information you're looking for quickly without wasting your time. So if you love cruising, consider subscribing. Let's go ahead and kick things off with number 1. The cruise port in Seattle, Washington will be requiring all home porting cruise ships to connect to shore power by 2027. This will require all Seattle-based cruise ships to cut their engines and plug in while at port. Now, the cruise industry has been actively retrofitting their fleets in order to be able to connect to shore power. By 2027, approximately 2/3 of the world's cruise ships will have the capability. Seattle initially planned to enact this requirement by the year 2030, but this new announcement moves the deadline up by 3 years. The only real impact for cruisers is that it will cause some ships to be unauthorized for home porting at Seattle's port. Number 2, a fire broke out on board the 𝗵𝗲𝗃𝗄𝗃 Armonia cruise ship. This occurred as the ship was approaching Venice, Italy. The fire broke out in the ship's main laundry room. Thankfully, crew members acted quickly and extinguished the flames. Once the Armonia arrived at port, the Coast Guard conducted a full investigation, and the cause was determined to be an electrical fire. An inspection was completed and the ship has been cleared for sailing. Moving on to number 3, we have a hurricane season update. The Eastern Pacific is currently clear. However, the Atlantic does have one weather system of concern. It is identified on this map by the yellow X. The trajectory is currently taking it to the northeast. The Hurricane Center is currently giving this weather system a small 20% chance of cyclone formation over the next week. Next, number 4, Princess Cruises is enacting new main dining options on board their ships. Beginning with sailings that depart on or after September 14th of this year, cruisers will have 3 options to choose from. One is traditional dining. With traditional dining, you select either an early or a late seating time. The second option is reservable dining times. With this, you will have a wide range of times to reserve for dining. If you know that you're going to have a late port day, you can reserve a late time. If you have a busy embarkation day and you know that you want to eat and get to bed early, you can reserve an early time. And the third option is walk-in anytime dining. It is exactly what it sounds like. You show up when you want and you are seated when a table becomes available. Very important to know that starting on June 17th, book guests will be able to use the cruise line's app ahead of their voyage to make their dining selection. Then number 5, Carnival Cruise Line has reiterated its smoking policy after one passenger boasted about frequently smoking on cruise ship balconies. This caught the attention of cruise line ambassador John Hild, who quickly responded to the claim. He noted how Carnival deals with unauthorized smoking, saying, quote, "Smoking is only permitted in designated areas. Guests agree to refrain from smoking in non-designated areas and agree that Carnival has the right to assess up to a $500 charge per violation and to disembark the guest with no refund." He went on to say all staterooms and suite accommodations, including the outside balconies, are non-smoking. Any evidence of smoking in a stateroom or balcony, such as smoke smell or residue, butts, ashes, upholstery, or furniture burns, tampering of the smoke alarm, will constitute a violation. Okay, we have 5 cruise news pieces remaining, including the top headlines of the day, but now it is time for our fast mid-show check-in. In the last video, I asked which of 3 cruise loyalty perks you would choose if you could only have one. I received input from more than 5,000 of you, and here are the results. 14% of you went with the free gifts, such as a bag, a t-shirt, a hat, something like that. More than 1/3, 36% went with the free laundry, and half of you, 50%, went with the priority embarkation and debarkation. Thanks for the input and great comments. Here is today's question. Thinking of the news piece regarding Carnival and smoking, the question is, what are your thoughts regarding smoking on cruise ships? Do you think smoking should be A, allowed anywhere, B, banned, or C, permitted only in certain areas? Chime in down below with what you think it should be. I'll look forward to reading that, but now on with the cruise news. Number 6, Celebrity Cruises has announced that they are getting rid of 2 of their ships, but do not worry, it does not include any of their large vessels. It includes their 48-passenger Celebrity Expedition and their 16-passenger Celebrity Exploration. Both ships specialize in cruises to the Galapagos Islands. The Galapagos is a province of Ecuador and it is located in the Eastern Pacific. Both ships are being purchased by Lindblad Expeditions. The transition will be completed in the early part of 2025. Number 7, another cruise line announced that they are getting rid of the COVID vaccination requirement for their crew members. Norwegian Cruise Line announced that as of May 29th, they are no longer requiring their crew members to receive the COVID vaccination. They are not the first cruise line to make the move. Princess did so in July of last year, Carnival made the changes this February, and Royal Caribbean removed the vaccination mandate in March. Moving on to number 8, Disney Cruise Line's new destination called Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point has officially opened. The destination is located on the Bahamas' Eleuthera Island a little to the east of Nassau. The location has everything that you would expect: great beaches, pools, entertainment, and dining. But there was one drawback that was frequently pointed out by the first visitors. You have to walk more than 1/2 mile on the pier in order to get to the island. Thankfully, they do have golf carts available for those that require mobility assistance. Otherwise, be sure that you bring some good shoes for walking. Next, number 9, Margaritaville at Sea's new ship called the Islander has arrived at its home port. The Islander has taken its position in Tampa, Florida. The ship is the second in the Margaritaville at Sea fleet. It will be interesting to see what this ship is like. The inaugural voyage is scheduled for this Friday. Then, number 10, one woman has revealed fascinating details about her life on a cruise ship as a spouse on board. Her name is Christine. She is a former cruise director, and she has a TikTok page worth checking out that has nearly 1 million followers. The whole spouse on board classification is sort of secret in the sense that not many details have been known about it until now. Christine is married to the staff chief engineer on a Holland America cruise ship. And there is a list of things that she can and cannot do as a spouse on board. I'm going to show you a short video clip where she gives some insights. I thought it was fascinating. I hope that you do too. Here it is.
And while I get ready, let's talk about things I can and cannot do while living on the cruise ship with my husband. So just to get everybody up to date, my husband is staff chief engineer here on board, and I sail as wife on board. I sail with him for free, food is for free, and I live on the ship with him. While I live on the cruise ship, I live as a guest, but also as crew. I can do most everything that the crew can do, and I can do most everything that the guests can do, except for a few things. Number 1. Gambling. I am not allowed to go sit at a slot machine and play my heart out until I win, because it would look a little weird if I, as the wife of the staff chief engineer, won like a big jackpot. So I am not allowed to gamble on the ship. Number 2, I am allowed in crew areas and guest areas. But with that said, when I am in crew areas, I always have to wear my badge visible so that they know that I'm like one of them and allowed down there, because we don't want any guests down in the crew area. Now there's a couple of other things that I have to abide by. When we get into port, usually the guests, well, obviously the guests get off first, and then the crew usually can get off the ship about an hour after the guests. And so I abide by that. I get off the ship about an hour after the guests get off the ship. So if we dock at 1, I get off at 2. Number 3, I am allowed to use the pool, the gym. I should probably get to the gym soon. I can use the spa. I can use all of those guest amenities. But I always play it with a rule of thumb. If the pool is packed, then I make sure to get up and give the guests a seat. It's just the right thing to do. I used to be cruise director, so I totally understand how to give guests the best time that they possibly can have, and I don't think a crew member taking up their seat is the right thing to do. So I can use all of those areas. I also can drink. I can have my Diet Cokes. I can eat in any of the dining areas as well. Do I get discounts? Yes, I get discounts. So I do cruise for free. The food on board is free. But if I want sodas or a drink, I do pay 50%. I also get a discount in the shops, and I get a discount in the spa area as well. Also on internet, I get a discounted rate for internet. And I think this is number 4. When I'm on the ship traveling with my husband, I do have to at all times have international travelers insurance medical if something were to happen. Now, because we live in the Netherlands, we have coverage there in the Netherlands. My husband holds it on me, and we just pay a little bit extra every single month. So those are some things that I can do and cannot do on the ship, and just a little bit about living on the ship.
Okay, so what did you think? I would love to know your thoughts down in the comments, and I'll catch you in the next video.